Hey everybody, it's Chris again. This will be episode 5 of my Magician's overview, this time taking a look at the first 3 episodes of Season 2. You can find the previous episodes, which cover Season 1, linked in the description. If this is your first time here, I take shows and movies based on books and compare and contrast them to the source material. Also, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future videos, and click that notification icon to join the notification squad, as it were, and to be the first to know when something new drops. Warning, there may be spoilers ahead since I discuss what happens in the TV show and compare it to the book, and sometimes that reveals things down the road or changes in the show that might actually spoil things for you in the future. So if you don't want to see that, now's the time to stop the video. Okay, by now hopefully you know the drill, so let's just get into it. Okay, starting with episode 1, we're going to take a look at Let's Make a Deal. So yeah, this entire storyline is new for the show. So I hope it goes without saying why Julia was able to hold the knife, given what we learned from the exchange between Ember and Alice. Although this is new, I loved every minute of it. The Beast is such a great character in the show, and this new storyline that has Julia and Martin working together to find, capture, and kill Reynard allows for some pretty amazing moments. So spot on with that addition. Next up we have Scooby Gang Resurrected. This was new for the show as well, and almost felt like a Deus Ex Machina or, Hand of God kind of thing, so I was not a fan. They went through the trouble of creating this moment of real jeopardy for our heroes, and then in literally 30 seconds reverse it all because I'm God-powered. It just feels like lazy writing. There should have been some sort of struggle to achieve the saving of them all. The one thing I did love, though, was Penny floating around in the background, still in a state of, holy crap, I lost my hands! Shock. That was perfect, and another great moment for Penny's character. Next up, we have the attack on the HedgeWitches. Going hand in hand with a new storyline of Julia and Martin going after Reynard, we find that Reynard hasn't left, but is instead targeting more HedgeWitches that are trying to invoke Our Lady. As the counterpoint to the Julia Martin storyline, this too was added for the show, and I must say, I dig it. It always seems strange to me that he just up and vanished after the run-in with the Free Trader Beowulf guys. You'd think he would stick around and, sow more mayhem, but so good addition and fix for the show writers. Next up, we have Penny's Hands. This was a little odd. In the novels, Penny wanders off into the Netherlands, sans hands. That rhymed. That's funny. After their run-in with the Beast, and disappears from the narrative altogether for quite a while. When we see him again, he has joined the Order of the Librarians and fashioned new hands out of glowy yellow magic. And he was still a jerk, just a jerk with glowy hands now. Next up, we have the Knight of Crowns. I mean, this was hilarious, especially the end bit with the Swayze. This might have been what happened in the original story, we just don't know. The first book of the series ends with Quentin having retreated to the mundane world to while away his time at a nameless company, having given up on magic. The closing moments of the novel are Elliot and Janet/Margot and Julia floating outside his 30-story window or some such, crowned as king and queens of Fillory. They had come to take him back to Fillory with them to take his place as the second king of Fillory. So since this wasn't covered at all in the novels, it was a nice addition and way to add a little bit more color to the world of Fillory and some fun. So nice job. And lastly, we're going to talk about Martin's Shade. This was very interesting. This is from the novels, but not in the way that it plays out here. We don't find out about this specific part of the story until the last book, and it plays out much differently, and if you can imagine, has even darker connotations. And man, Martin is so much more charming and dangerous in the show than he ever was in the books, and I have to say I love the whole singing thing. Okay, let's move on to episode 2. First up, we have The Curse of the Thrones. This was fun, clever, and added some much-needed drama to the kids from Earth taking the thrones of Fillory. In the novels, it just kind of all worked out and happened, and there wasn't any real problems like magic failing, which affected the crops and the people and all of that stuff when they assumed the throne. So having this thrown in here and giving them a problem really helped. I mean, this is what I was griping about with the part with the resurrection. It was just too easy, and this gave them real stakes for taking the throne. So that was beautiful. Next up, we have Bigby. I love this change from the novels. In the books, Bigby is a male pixie and the unofficial faculty advisor for the physical kids. Making Bigby a past lover of the dean was great, as was having her hide the battle magic so Fogg would have to come to her. Just fantastic. And seeing the joy from Fogg and then how comfortable they were together on the couch was lovely. Okay, next up we have Back Demons. This was fascinating, specifically where they chose to include it. In the novels, the addition of the Keiko demon was done on the eve of a magician's graduation from Brakebills and kept secret from the other students. Kind of like a last resort weapon when the magicians have their back against the wall and there is no way out that they can see. In the novels, you are there for the ritual that embeds each demon into each student, but it wasn't described in vivid detail, so it was really nice to see them visualize this so well in the show. Okay, and lastly, let's look at episode 3. First, we'll stop at The Curse Falls. I love the pace that this set for the show, and I really did love the way the curse was designed. Paranoia is a very potent thing, and when it runs unchecked, it is destructive, as we see here. And I mean, I love Paranoid Elliot. The whole usurpers thing was just fantastic. And I love that Penny and Finn are the ones that figure out how to beat the curse. And more importantly, that Janet is the one who wins, because of course she is the one who wins. Next we have The Fox versus the Witch. Although this seemed like a waste of her character, it was nice to see the interplay between the two. To see Marina not cower in fear in Reynard's presence, but man, killing the cat was a dick move, man. It seemed crappy with all she went through and the steel, the very real steel she showed in resisting Reynard, that Penny would just pop in and steal the beast, allowing Reynard to kill Marina. It just, seemed like a waste. And was a new addition for the show as well. And lastly, to close things out for episode 3, we have Alice the Niffin. So first, Ember taking a crap in the wellspring was not in the books. As I have mentioned before, Ember in the show is not really god material in my opinion. I mean, come on, defiling the source of all magic and Fillory, it's just, ugh. So in the novels, Alice becomes a Niffin, but it is intentional. When all hope is lost, she chooses to overpower herself, triggering her transformation into a Niffin, which would give her the power necessary to finally end Martin, which I find way more compelling than her overestimating her ability and becoming one by accident. I know they tried to make it seem like she did it on purpose, but you can tell from the scene that she was not expecting what happened, so I don't buy that. And the end bit where Quentin uses his Keiko demon on her wasn't in the novels either. She kills Martin and then disappears, not to be seen or heard from again for a very, very long time. I mean, a Keiko demon wasn't even going to be an inconvenience to her as a Niffin, let alone take her out or whatever they are trying to say at the end when she's laying there. I mean, she's not dead. She's a Niffin is a creature completely created of magic. It's not something you can really destroy or kill. So that is it for this video. Again, the first 3 episodes of the season have been spectacular. The writing has been excellent. The acting is great. The moments of not only comedy, but serious drama and having actual stakes is a beautiful thing. And it really gives the actors something to sink their teeth into, which is why some of the best acting is in this season, in my opinion. Okay. If you have any questions or you want me to go over something that I skipped, please just add it in the comments, or you can find me on Twitter at Chris J. Davis, and you can find me on Facebook as well. The next video will cover probably 4, 5, and 6, and you can look forward to that on Monday. Have a great weekend, friends. I'll see you next week.